Today, we'll be taking a look at the very best value watches from 25 different brands. All of the brands featured in this video are respected or historical in one way or another. We're going to be starting off with the budget brands and slowly making our way up to the luxury ones, so stay tuned till the very end, because I think you'll be very surprised at how little you have to spend to get a luxury watch brand on the wrist. The first set of brands we'll be taking a look at is brands that generally operate in the sub $500 category, and for me, these are the best value watches you can buy from these brands. The first brand we'll be taking a look at is Tissot. Many of you will probably go straight to the PRX as the best value, but for me, it's absolutely not. I think that the Cartier offers the best value for money. This watch can often be found for under $300 and features the Powermatic 80 movement, which is usually the movement that we see in watches costing double the price from Tissot. You get a sapphire crystal, 100 meters of water resistance, and a vertical day-date complication. I'll leave links to buy some of the watches featured in today's video in the description. I think that it's fair to say that Casio are the kings of this price range, with a multitude of watches that offer insane value for money. My first thought would be the Casio Royale, as the world time module is just so incredible for the super low price, but it does have its drawbacks with its terrible build quality. The new Casio Moonphase watches might just steal the top spot, with a full steel case and a genuine Moonphase complication, but it honestly doesn't matter which Casio you go for, they're all incredible value for money. And once you've owned a few Casios, you'll naturally want to try out a G-Shock, and again, you really can't go wrong with any model. My instinct is to lean towards the legendary DW5600 as the best value, as this watch can be found for around $60 and offers an insane spec sheet. I'd go for the one that comes with tough solar and multiband 6 to get the most bang for buck, but the whole G-Shock range is so affordable that it's almost impossible to make a bad choice, so find one that you like and pull the trigger. Orient for me are now the kings when it comes to affordable mechanical watches. They offer some of the best when it comes to value for money. For me though, Orient operates best in the dive watch market, with tons of models that are very reasonably priced and offer a lot of watch for not a lot of cash. As a long-term Komatsu owner, I'm naturally drawn to say the Komatsu, but the Ray and Mako series are just as good. Again, it's about finding one that you like the look of, because they're all incredible value. As Seiko have begun increasing prices and taking the brand more upmarket, they don't quite pack the same punch in this category as they used to. But for me, the new Seiko 5 range still offers some of the best value in the affordable market. Whether it's the Dress KX range, the SRPD dive style watches, or the military inspired models, for just a couple $100, they still produce a very well designed watch that will last for decades to come. The best value probably comes from the SSK GMT range, offering the iconic SKX looks with an in-house automatic GMT movement. If you're going to pick up a Citizen, for me it has to be made out of titanium. That's of course because Citizen was the first ever watch brand to release watches using the lightweight material, and they offer some of the best value when it comes to titanium watches. I often point towards the Citizen Garrison as a great watch, which comes with Eco Drive and a full titanium construction, but their ProMaster divers also make a lot of sense, with automatic movements and titanium cases. I personally don't think that Timex offers incredible value for money in any of their models, but if I had to choose one, I'd go with the Expedition North. This is a fairly new release from Timex that I feel finally satisfied enthusiasts with a spec sheet on offer. It has a 200 meters water resistance rating, a titanium case, a sapphire crystal, and an automatic Miyota movement, and this really is the only watch from the Timex catalogue that offers some really good value. All the others have major flaws that I'd avoid if you want pure value. Marathon is a fairly small watch brand in comparison to the ones that we featured so far, but a watch brand I feel is underrated and deserves a bit more attention. If you're getting a Marathon, you have to go with a model that comes with the tritium tubes. This is where small tubes of tritium gas are used instead of traditional lume, meaning that the watch will glow in the dark without charge. I think that the general purpose range offers some of the best value for money from Marathon. Super rugged watches built to military specification. The next price category we'll be taking a look at is the sub $1,000 range. These are watch brands that come with a bit more prestige and offer a higher quality. This is usually found in the build quality, the finishing, and the choice of materials. But these particular watches are the best value. When it comes to Hamilton, the khaki range is iconic. Most will look towards the khaki mechanical as the best bang for buck, but for me, that isn't the one. The khaki automatic is the best option when it comes to value for money. This watch features some upgrades over over the mechanical that makes it a much better watch. You get a much better finish to the steel case, with polished and brushed surfaces. It comes with a screw down crown, meaning a higher water resistance, and a comfortable high quality bracelet and clasp. Christopher Ward offers watches at a wide range of different price points, with some even costing over $2,000. The best value watch from their catalogue in my opinion is the C63 Sealander GMT. The quality of both the materials and finishing is well worth the price tag, with this model featuring a Swiss automatic Sellita GMT movement. This comes with a high beat rate and a higher than average power reserve, but it's the quality of the watch that makes it great value, with amazing finishing and attention to detail. When it comes to affordable Flieger watches, most will think of Laco. The majority of the Laco catalogue costs around $1,000, with some even costing upwards of that. However, Laco produces one watch at a super affordable price that offers the best value. The Pilot Watch Basic range offers the classic Laco Flieger look for around $500. These come with automatic movements, sapphire crystals, and a true to original Flieger design. The quality control from Laco is second to none, so the basic range offers insane value. Bulliver is a brand that operates around the $500 mark. However, their best model in my opinion is one of their most expensive. The new, smaller Lunar Pilot is the best bang for buck in my opinion. It features a fantastic build quality that beats a lot of watches around the price. It's fitted with a high accuracy quartz movement that moves like no other, with its smooth sweep chronograph and double tick running seconds. But it's the design and story that makes this watch excellent value. Now, with this next set of brands, they all sell watches for over $1,000. But again, we see a jump in quality, design, and brand prestige. Now, you might notice me recommending some vintage discontinued models. That's because sometimes going vintage is where you'll find the best value. Oris, for me, is one of the best when it comes to this price point. They offer a hell of a lot of watch for the price. My pick from Oris would have to be the Pointer Date Collection. This is a model that doesn't feature a traditional date window, but instead points to the date using an extra hand. Not many brands offer this complication, so it's an iconic feature for Oris. The best value sits in the neo-vintage market, where you can pick up a pointer date model with great specifications for under $1,000, sometimes even around $500. When it comes to Rado, they often don't get much coverage here on YouTube by enthusiasts. I believe that's because they have a lot of tough competition when it comes to this price category. Some will look at the Captain Cook as a great value watch, which it is, but it's not my pick. Instead, I'd be looking at something that is made from ceramic, as Rado was the first ever watch brand to use ceramic for watch cases and bracelets. And looking on the secondary market, you have a ton of choice that comes in well under $1,000, making this the cheapest way to get into a ceramic timepiece. My personal favourite Swiss brand from this price category is Longines, and it was very hard to pick a watch from the Longines catalogue for this video, because I really think that they all offer great value. Longines has some great watches on the vintage market, which can be picked up for some very affordable prices, but I have to go with the Legend Diver as the best value. I just think that this design is absolutely perfect. You aren't necessarily paying here for the best specs, just how incredibly beautiful the watch is. Now, my absolute favourite brand in this category is Nomos. I think that they offer so much watch for the money that they ask, with in-house calibers, an iconic design language, and a huge amount of choice for similar prices. I think that the obvious pick is the Nomos Club Campus, and I'll have to agree, it's offering a more universal design that will fit modern life a lot better, combined with its water resistance capabilities. Whatever you do, make sure you get a display case back, because the Alpha caliber is absolutely beautiful. Doxa is of course famous for their incredible history when it comes to dive watches, with the vivid orange dial now synonymous with the brand. And funnily enough, I think that their best value watch is indeed their flagship sub 300 dive watch. I'd even go with the orange dial just to have that completely iconic look. This watch offers a design that no other watch brand is offering at this price, with the cushion case and beads of rice style bracelet. I really don't think there's many better dive watches around this price than the sub 300. The majority of the Tag Heuer catalogue isn't great value for money in my opinion. They do offer some great watches, but quite a lot of them are overpriced fashion watches. However, they do sell some hidden gems. I'd advise taking a look at some Tag Heuer Neo vintage models, where you can pick up some fully capable dive watches with sapphire crystals and automatic movements for around $500, which at that price makes them some of the best value Swiss-made mechanical divers. Now it's time to move on to the luxury brands. These watch brands often cost multiple thousands just for their entry-level models. But don't worry, I have some great value watches here that you just might want to buy. Let's kick things off with Omega. I'd say that the Speedmaster is probably the best value in terms of the modern Omega catalogue. However, the best value Omega overall for me is probably the Seamaster when looking at some older models. You can find some post-Bond Seamasters featuring the coaxial movement for under $2,000, which is an incredible price for such an iconic watch. They come with all the design elements you'd expect, including the helium escape valve and the blue wave dial. The applied Omega logo also looks super sharp. You have a ton of choice when it comes to good value Breitling watches, especially in the secondary market. You can pick up a ton of different dive watches that offer some of the toughest build quality amongst the luxury watches. My pick would be the Colt Ocean, which comes with the B17 movement, 500 meters of water resistance and a choice of sizes, which can be found for just over $1,000. But if you don't mind any digi, then check out the Aerospace and Chronospace for some very cool watches. Most will look to the Black Bay for the best bang for buck from Tudor, and it is a great watch, but it doesn't represent the best value for me. I think that the Tudor Hydronaut represents more value than the Black Bay series. Now sure, it doesn't look like a Rolex, but that's why I like it. The Black Bay line for me is trying too hard to be a Rolex. However, the Hydronaut is very much its own watch. This was Tudor's answer to its very own dive watch once it finished producing the Tudor Submariner. So this was Tudor's first step in becoming its very own watch brand. Cartier and value aren't two words that are often associated, and I can't really make an argument as to why they should be. Cartier for me is a brand that heavily leans on its prestigious name to sell watches. That being said, if you want a good value Cartier, I think there's two routes. You can either go down the vintage tank route, which will get you the iconic look for just over $1,000, or you can go with the Cartier Pasha, which has a better build quality and an automatic movement. However, I'm sure this watch will divide opinion. This is a watch that I've considered picking up myself in the past. IWC of course are well known for their Mark series of Flieger watches. However, with them costing over $5,000 at retail, they are a bit expensive for their very minimal design and rather basic spec sheet. My pick for the best value IWC would be the Mark 16 Spitfire. This watch features applied numerals, a much more detailed dial, and the iconic Type A dial layout. It feels like you get a bit more for your money over the standard black dialed IWC, and this watch is often much cheaper too. For me, if you're going to get a Grand Seiko, you have to get a spring drive. After all, that's what really put Grand Seiko on the map. Now you don't have to spend over $5,000 just to get the spring drive movement. If you look on the secondary market, you can find tons of Grand Seiko models featuring the spring drive movement for around $2,500, some of which even have a GMT complication. So if you do want to get into Grand Seiko, the secondary market here is your best friend. I don't think there's any Rolex model that offers ridiculous value for money. After all, you're paying for the prestige of the Rolex name rather than the watch itself. But there's two models that represent the best value for me. Firstly, I think vintage Datejust models offer some good value, which can be found for around $4,000. But the best value for me would be the Explorer 2, which is a watch often overlooked by Rolex collectors. It strips back all of the flashy elements and delivers what Rolex intended their watches to be, a proper tool watch. If you want me to do this video featuring 25 micro brands, let me know down in the comments which micro brands I should include. And remember to check out toptierticker.com for some affordable watches. The link is in the description. And I think that you should watch this video next on 15 incredible, affordable GMT watches.